Hi guys, another impromptu. I'm going to do a video and not edit. Books and tea edition. We got the tea this time. I don't think I had tea in the last video. And the books I want to talk about today is Ice Massacre by Tiana, its sequel Ice Script, and Ice Kingdom, which came out yesterday, and I haven't read that one. But I'll explain why I'm talking about all three. So, in February or March this year, I think it'd be March actually, my book club did a read along for Ice Massacre, which literally everyone that took part enjoyed it so much they also read Ice Script. So to celebrate the release of the third book, we're doing a read along of the third one this month. It's not like an official one because obviously anyone who didn't take part in March can't really just hop in with book number 3. It's more of a case of we just love it, so we need to support it. And I want to tell you why, but I also thought people liked my whole reading video, or it got some pretty good feedback. I mean, there was other things I need to improve on. So I thought for anyone who hasn't read them, I will read the start of this and then talk about why I enjoyed the series so much so far. Somewhere on the Pacific Ocean, a young man aimed his crossbow at the water, ready to fire a bolt of solid iron at the first glimpse of flesh beneath the surface. "Sir," he said, "shouldn't we have seen one by now?" The captain turned his back to the salty wind. "Jaw tight. They know we're here." "So what are they doing?" He followed the captain's gaze. Blackness merged with the empty grey horizon in every direction. A long silence passed, filled only by the gentle swells lapping against the ship. The captain drew his own crossbow, forming a plan. All 20 men aboard the ship readied their weapons, reacting in a chain until the last man at the stern took steady aim at the waves. "Make ready your iron, men," shouted the captain. "We have ripples approaching off the port side." A handful of places in the water puckered as if something lingered just below the surface. The sea was too black to tell. Then it happened. 50, maybe 60 sea demons burst from the water and slammed against the ship. The men wasted no time. They reacted with trained speed and agility as the demons thrust stones and jagged shells into the wood, both to break holes in the ship and to scale the sides. The men picked them off with bolts of iron and watched them fall one by one back into the sea. But they were outnumbered. Soon the demons were upon the ship, pulling themselves across the deck with bony arms. The young man had already shot a dozen, and the water reddened with each passing second. Slow creeping sounds threatened him from behind. He whirled around, crossbow ready. Burning eyes met his, and sharp teeth bared to rip into his flesh. He gripped the trigger, felt the bow tighten, and the demon was gone. The young man stared into the wide gaze of a girl his own age. With a startled cry, he jerked his aim so the bolt barely missed her. She held a black shell in her hand, sharp at the edges and ready to use as a club. But she didn't raise it, she just looked at him. He lowered his crossbow. Her blonde hair fell heavily over her shoulders, dripping beads of water down her naked chest and stomach, pulling where her torso joined her tail. He blinked, but made no other motion. Where her torso joined her tail? Scales faded into flesh like some sort of beautiful green and tan sunset. She pulled herself closer. "Stay back," said the young man, unsure what prompted him to hesitate. He looked into her eyes, emeralds surrounded by pearl white, where moments ago they had burned red. Her sharp teeth had retracted behind her rosy lips. The seaweed-coloured flesh of her upper body was now olive and raised with goosebumps from the icy wind. "Hanuai," she whispered. "Do not fear." She spoke his language. He loosened his grip on the crossbow, studying her. She lifted a frail arm and pushed the hair from her eyes, then motioned him forwards. His pulse quickened as he stared at the beautiful girl. "Hanuai," she said again, her voice resonating sweetly as if she sang without singing. Suddenly he was kneeling in front of her, level with her luminous eyes. The sound around him faded but for the soft purr in the base of her throat. She reached up and held an icy hand to his cheek, not for a moment breaking eye contact. The hand slid behind his head and pulled his face towards hers, slowly but firmly. He inhaled her sweet breath. "No!" He flinched. He turned to see the captain racing towards them, aiming his crossbow at the maiden. The young man grasped the scene around him. The ship was empty. A few stray weapons and barrels bobbed serenely in the water. Blood soaked the deck in places, and even the main mast had a splatter across the bottom. The captain fired wide before he could reload and aim again. The sea demon put a hand on the young man's chin and pulled his gaze back to hers. Her eyes blazed red. Her skin rippled into the rotten colour of seaweed, and her ears grew pointed and long like sprouting coral. She opened her mouth to reveal a row of deadly teeth. The young man screamed. The demon pulled him against her with more strength than 3 men combined, and they dove headfirst off the side of the ship. They disappeared into the blood-red water. So that's an opening to a book. I feel like I should have made this video like months ago when both of the books were fresh in my mind. However, I'm lazy. I'm behind with a lot of my reviews that I would normally be writing. I thought I was going to write this one, but here I am attempting to do my first video review of a book I read months ago. What could go wrong? So Ice Massacre follows the point of view of Mila. She lives on the island of Ariana Kwai. I'm sorry if I'm butchering like pronunciations here, like I probably did when I was reading the first chapter too. So I apologise for that. Anyway, yeah, so she lives on the island, and every year, or is it every year, the island sends warriors to battle the sea demons because, well, they're mermaids, obviously. The mermaids have basically made it impossible for them to fish the sea for food, and boats like bringing in food and stuff have like just been attacked and sunk, so they're really struggling on their island. And they figure, sending men out to fight every year is gonna like help them, but it's not. The men come back like, well, the ship comes back like one dude on, or nothing comes back, and Mila's upset because her brother was on one of these ships and he died. But also because she's really lucky and adventurous, I guess, and whilst she's a child, she befriends a mermaid and teaches her to speak their language, and they get along, and they're friends, and it's great. But obviously she's aware that this is a secret friendship, no one can find out about it. But they do. Obviously her dad does, and he's not happy and tries to kill the mermaid, and so she doesn't see her mermaid friend for a long time. For one reason or another, the inhabitants of Ariana Quay realise, sending men out is not working, and they choose, women are probably going to be a better chance. They have reasons for this to be a thing, it's all explained in the story. No point me like telling you everything. So Mila is going to be the first batch of females being sent out to fight, which is awesome because this whole story is from Mila's point of view, and she's surrounded by other girls her own age, and they're all terrified. I mean, who wouldn't be? But also so strong, each of them in their own way. One in particular, way too aggressively strong, and I really don't like her. She's very much a bully, but also you kind of understand why. They're out at sea alone for like months. It's cold, they're like isolated, tensions rise, people die, and there's a power battle, and it's just really important that all these girls, they're so young, and it was all so realistic what they went through. And obviously they eventually fight mermaids, and eek, Lisi is there. So Mila has obviously been like, oh, gosh darn it. And they managed to rekindle their friendship even amongst this war, which I think why this book like really stood out to me is because, spoiler, they like each other. It's gay. So, I mean, on one hand, you've got the whole, accepting that you're not straight, which I think Mila struggles with a lot because she has a boyfriend back home. Yeah. Look, going into this knowing that she's like has feelings for Lacey, like I did, I never really saw him as a boyfriend, more like someone. He was so persistent and such a good friend that she was just kind of like trapped and didn't really know how to handle it because, you're at that age, you don't really know what's happening. You want to keep everyone happy, and you think, hey, maybe him as a boyfriend might be a good idea, and like I'm going to sea anyway, so I might die. Anyway, so yeah, there's the whole like accepting that you're not a straight thing, which I thought came across really well in the story, but then also there's the whole racial issue because Lacey's a mermaid and Mila's a human. So I think like in our day and age, like I think he was like an important read because it has a lot of relevant themes to the book. I just think you really need to read it. Though I will say though everyone I've recommended it to has read it and loved it apart from one person because I saw them as a gay mermaid story, and I guess the first book is more the whole getting to that point, like, and accepting it. So there is an actual like lack of women loves women experiences in the book. So, don't think it's gonna be like really gay, really mermaid eccentric love story from the first thing, because it's not. It is about war, and like coming to terms that just because these people, in this case these mermaids, are different, we shouldn't hold all our fears as facts. We need to make an attempt to like realize who our neighbors are and work together so there can be peace between us, and realize maybe there's something that we don't know about or the humans don't know about, which is making the mermaids act this way or forcing them, which is where the second book comes in. I think I loved them both so much. I can't even say which one I preferred because I really enjoyed both of them. But this one we get to see Lisa's point of view as well, and I think that's really important that we get the dual narrative to get a better understanding of everything that she's going through, the troubles that she's facing as well. There's a power struggle within the mermaid ranks of like who should be ruling and who would be ruling correctly, and that explains a lot of the reasons why they're acting and fighting the humans the way they are. This one does get a lot more fantasy related in my opinion, because it's not just about the humans and the mermaids anymore. At the end of the first book, Mila was given a task to find something which is a lot more fantasy mythology based to help the evil mermaid king become more powerful, basically. But obviously Mila wants to find this for her own advantage, to try and help the mermaids and humans be at peace with each other. Where were we? Yes, I script. So whilst you know, it's a tough journey for me, like I'm Lacey. There's also some bittersweet things that happen in it. There's a really nice setup for a reunion that's definitely happens at the end. Man, I don't remember if it actually happens at the end or whether it's saved for Ice Kingdom. Either way, man, you know, there's. I just love these books so much, and everyone needs to read them. And I'm so excited to start Ice Kingdom. Ali, my good friend, bought me these. She knew that I would enjoy them, and she wrote me a little note in each of them and gave me a little post-it note. So I've requested her to buy me the third book so she can make them match. But I have bought an ebook version so I can like start reading it as soon as possible. I have about 20% left of the current ebook I'm reading, which is only a short book, so I'll probably finish that today or tomorrow, which means that I can start Ice Kingdom. I'm so excited to get myself a world. I really should have like done a quick reread of these two books, but I'm one of those people that I don't reread books often because I find when I do, I tend to like not enjoy them as much the first time round. But also like when I then go to read like the next in the series eventually, once I start reading, I remember like basically everything I forgot, so it should be okay. If you are reading Ice Kingdom and you want people to talk to about it, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Feel free to join the book club because we're huge fans, and you know it's always nice to talk to people about books. I'll include a link in the description. Make sure you follow Tiana on Twitter because she's recently announced that we're getting a graphic novel, which I'm obviously super excited about, and we'll get a copy of that as well. I think that's it for today. Oh yeah, disclaimer, yes, I know I need a haircut, yes, I know I need to dye my hair, and yes, I know my glasses are beautifully broken. There's a nice shot for Malbec. Yeah, I guess happy holidays as well, it's December.